What's up, beautiful people? Welcome to my YouTube channel. I am so excited to have you here again. First of all, I want to say thank you so much for 1,000 subscribers. It has been a dream. I started my YouTube channel last year in November, and to just get to that point is exciting. So if you're here watching, if you've subscribed, super excited for you to be here. Today, we're going to talk about the time where my friends in high school set me up to get raped. And before I continue, if you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button, like, and also share this to a friend who may need to hear this story. So when I was in high school, I don't remember if it was my senior year or if it was my sophomore year, but I had this desk mate, like a girl I used to sit next to. Let's call her D, right? And then behind D was another girl called S. Now, S used to be a rapper. She used to be a singer, and what had happened with S, she had already gotten some fame out of rapping. She knew a couple of rappers that were really well known in my country at that particular time, and that gave her some sort of fame, and they would take her along. She also had like a recording studio that she would go to record songs. Now, when I was in Kenya, I really loved singing. I've been singing since I was probably, my first memory is singing in school. It was like a prize giving day, so I have been singing forever. Singing in, we used to call it primary school, but it's middle school, singing in high school. So I used to be in a small band in high school where we would meet and then we would sing as well. And then I used to be in a Christian union. Basically, that's what we called it. So I would be in the praise and worship. So I sang quite a bit, and I think I was good at it, right? And S told me, hey, Barbara, like it would be absolutely... Oh, sorry, I'm home alone. I just wanted to make sure no one was coming in. So S said it would be absolutely insane if we went ahead and did a collaboration. I really dig your voice. I feel like we could do a couple of things with it, and we could definitely make a track. Now, S lived very close to me. She lived probably like, maybe I could walk to S's estate. Sorry, we call it estate in Kenya, but I could walk literally to her neighborhood. It would probably be maybe a 20 to 30 minute walk, but it's not something that I didn't do back home when I was in Kenya. The weather is not like here in Florida where you can hardly walk during the summer. You could definitely walk. So we were actually in a boarding school, and we stayed in school for about like 3 months, and then you would get to go home. So we're just about to go home, and S tells me, hey, it would be awesome for us to go ahead and collaborate and do like a song together. And who am I to say no? Who am I to say no? I didn't know where my life was going to go after high school, but I was like, why not get this opportunity? Because S had told us that she had gotten some cash by doing this. Obviously, she got paid when she was featured in music or when she went to rap at a show. So I was like, yeah, I can make some money for myself. So that was the plan. Now, S lived close by, right? And I could go, literally, like I said, I could walk 20 minutes or 30 minutes to her particular area. I'd never been to her home before, but I knew the general area where she lived in, and she had told me about the studio that she used to record in, and she had showed me, like, I think she had told me of the particular producers that she had. I'd heard of them before, but she used to talk about them all the time with like so much love, so much endearment, like people she would look up to, right? But she painted them as like this rough guys, I don't know how to explain it, that took advantage of women sometimes. Not like took advantage of women, but literally slept with women, but they would not be discreet, basically, and they would always talk about them in some sort of way, right? And I was like, okay, not a problem. I figured I'm going to be with S because S is my classmate. I know nothing is going to happen to me when I'm with S. So what do? I say, yes, let's meet during the holidays. I'm super excited. Everyone is listening to this conversation. Everyone is co-signing. They're like, oh yeah, you think Barbara can hack it? She's like, yeah, I know Barbara can hack it. Let's do it. We go on vacation. I wait for the call. And something in me, you would think I would call her and be like, hey, are we meeting? But I just thought to myself, she is the one who offered. She's going to call me, and I don't want to seem like desperate. So I never even insisted. Thought about it maybe once during the holiday, and I dismissed it. Now we go back to school. When we get back to school, D asks me, D is my desk mate, she asked me, hey, by any chance, did you go ahead and meet with S during the holidays? And I said, no, I didn't meet up with S. She never texted me. She never called me. I didn't want to insist. I just was waiting for her call. And she said, wow, this is what they were planning to do to you when you went to the recording studio. I was like, what would they be planning to do to me? And she started explaining that they had planned to rape me. Apparently, like I said, these were guys that were known to like Well, she had explained a couple of stories where they basically were not discreet about their sexual life, right? Not that they're taking advantage of any women at all, but they were just not discreet, and they like to talk around, they like to sleep around, you know. But I never thought anything would happen, just because first of all I'm with S, and then two, this is going to be work. They were known artists, but definitely the mind of a child. So she explained that they were going to lure me into the studio, and then S would leave the studio, like pretend she's going to get something, so that they could have their way with me in the studio. And you know how it is, like, have you heard of that song that's like, oh, Yellowbone or something like that? I like Yellowbone. I don't know. I don't know what it says, that song, but something like that. And colorism is real in Kenya as well, and they had this thing for girls who are a little bit lighter, and apparently I fit their type. And she was explaining how to S was explaining to D how they would really have their way with me and they would really enjoy it. And I was like, what was the plan after? What were they thinking of killing me because am I not supposed to tell somebody, or what was going to happen? And I remember looking at D like, why would you tell me now after I'm back? How could you not tell me before I went? She had my number, she had my mom's number. She could have texted me and said, hey, don't go to this particular session you're supposed to go to. She could have even texted me with another number that I was unaware of, that I couldn't call, and then blocked me or something like that if she didn't want me to find out it was her warning me. But she let me go through the holiday thinking of nothing, meaning if S had contacted me, I would be out there in the trenches. And I remember just looking at her like, oh my god, why would you tell me now? How could you have not told me before? And I remember, I think, asking her, I don't remember if I really asked her, because I was in a state of shock. I've come to America and I understand that rape happens quite often with kids or with basically adults taking advantage of their children, but I grew up in a very secure home. People who were around me, they took care of me. I had never even heard of that. I probably heard of rape maybe once when it was so despicable. They raped a woman who was like in their 70s leaving work. That was the only time I heard of that. But I never actually like thought of being unsafe in that way. Honestly, I just never thought about it. And to just for the first time like come to America and also hear how kids are taken advantage of by their siblings, by their parents, it's insane to me. I'll be honest, I can't even believe it. It's crazy. So when she told me that, I was in a state of shock, because this is the first time anyone has ever come at me in that particular way. I was shocked. I thought, like, in my mind, like, I look back, I should have definitely consulted someone. I should have definitely told like a teacher that this was planning to happen. I should have probably confronted S. But when she told me that she didn't want to get in trouble, like the mind of a child, I was shocked. I didn't even think about talking to her. I just remember like canceling her. Me and S were super close. When she came to school, we used to walk together, we used to do like a lot of stuff together, and I just remember like distancing myself from her. Just remember not even having another conversation with her. She had fallen into another group that used to have problems, and I just remember just letting them. Now, what happened to S? S went ahead and was expelled from school. She ran away from school. Like, we were in a boarding school, like I've said before. She ran away from school and she got expelled. She later on left. I don't know if she finished high school or not, because there were rumors that she didn't finish high school, that her parents were super upset because she had like issues with school, issues with authority. That's what I would say. Don't know if she finished school or anything. I do see her sometimes on my Facebook. I actually looked her up the other day just to see where she's at, what she's doing. I know this is horrible, but I did look her up, and yeah. Anyway, if you want to know if her career picked up, it never picked up. She's not like any significant like rapper in Kenya at the moment. I don't know if she's doing well. I've talked to friends who are saying that she had really struggled after she was expelled from school. Her parents weren't looking to pay for school fees for her to go to school. Obviously, I don't wish her that, but definitely think that she has had challenges in her life after. You know how they say keep like your enemies close, or whatever it is, don't keep them too close, girl. Let me tell you what happened, like maybe when I was in the second year of high school. We were really, really close then. When I got into that school, we were super close. It was me, her, and a girl named G. So I remember when G, S, and I would be together, we had another girl in the group as well. So we were basically like four. What was her name? A. I'll say her name is A, right? So when we were in the group together, maybe like the three of us, and we would talk, they would always talk about A, right? And then when one day the behavior kept on going all the time. One day we were sitting outside in the grass on a Saturday, oiling our hair, and I just said, hey, like I really wonder, every time we're together, you guys always talk about A. So I asked, when I'm not around, what do you say about me, or what do they say about me? And I remember G wasn't there. It was just me and A, and then S as well. And I actually just said it, like when you're not around, we do talk about you, like stuff is said about you. So I asked, when I'm not around, like what is said? And I remember S telling me that, you know, when you're not around, G talks about your family, that they're involved in witchcraft. That's how you guys are successful. That's how your parents are in America. That's why all this nonsense. And I just remember being shocked. She was saying something about like G's like grandma or mom had given her something to protect her from the witchcraft that my family had. And I was like, girl, what are you talking about? And I remember just being shocked because she told me other sensitive things, and that's how like the group broke up. I remember like giving myself distance from me and G, because, you know, G wasn't there to defend herself. But do I believe that she had said those things? Absolutely. Do I believe that A and S were talking other things when I wasn't around? Absolutely. So I remember just leaving that group and finding another group that wasn't Carrie, you know, that when we were together we would not talk about something else or someone else. I remember just leaving and being like, oh, thank God. And I remember them telling me, oh, you think you're so much better than us now that you're leaving, you're getting this group from the Christian Union. And it wasn't just like a Christian Union thing, it was just like friends of substance, where I didn't feel like they were malicious, you know, because I absolutely knew A was talking about me, I absolutely knew S was talking about me, and I absolutely knew G was talking about me. When we had that conversation, there are a couple of things that they said about my family, because I'd met my family when they came to visit me at school, because we did have visiting days. And I was like, I cannot stay with people who do this, because what would happen is I would get really homesick, and I would just, when you get homesick, all you do is talk about your family. And on the first day we would get back to school after like maybe a month break, that's all I would do. I'd be like, oh my God, I miss my cousin so much. I just want to call and talk to her. I just want to talk to her. And that would only last for that particular day, because probably would report to school at maybe like 1, or like by the time you put all your stuff away, it's like 5 o'clock. And that's all I wanted to talk about, like my family. That's all they wanted to talk about. So it was insane that they were actually bringing that up in conversation, and how much they were annoyed by it. And it wasn't in a way, because I understand that people can get annoyed by some things, but the way it was said, it was so malicious that I was like, oh my goodness, I cannot. And so I found another friend group, but I did not cut off like S at the time. We were just like, she was just like, you know, the friends that you know are not necessarily for you, but you're not gonna push them all too far away, that they have just a little bit of access, like maybe 20% access, because you know how they say go ahead and put every single friend in different categories. That's exactly what I did. And S just sat right behind me, and I, for myself, like I never thought like agreeing to such a thing would ever like lead to this, you know. Just the thought that they would do this was insane. And I remember from that day on, I distanced myself from D as well, because she should have told me earlier. Should have never let me go home without telling me, or even the day I got home, should have taken someone else's phone and texted my phone and said, don't go, this is what they're planning, if she didn't want anyone to find out it was her. So anyway, that's what I went through when I was in high school. I haven't gone through anything like that before, but it's definitely taught me a lesson. Craziest thing, when that happened, I did not think about it at all until last year, when I was thinking, oh, let me do a story time. That's when I remembered. It's crazy how your mind works to protect you from things. Like literally, it had no substance to me. I never thought about it. But anyway, I've seen situations like this happen before, where friends are setting up friends for horrible situations. The best thing you could do is definitely pray. I don't have any other protection. And also just watch out for those frenemies that you see. I would not put myself in situations where I'm only with them by themselves. I would always tell parents or other friends you're going, or I would always get like another friend to go with you to that particular session, so there's at least a little bit of protection, you know. Better 2 people than 1. But anyway, thank you so much for joining me today for this beautiful story time. Well, not beautiful at all. But it was great to be here and chat with you guys. So watch out, please make sure you're keeping distance between yourself and frenemies. When Christ says love yourself or love your enemies as you love yourself, he does not mean to put yourself in situations where you would get harmed, you know. Yeah, and thank you so much for coming again, guys. I will see you in the next video. Please remember to share, like, and subscribe. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.